digital government is very important, putting government services online so that citizens don't have to travel long distances or get inconvenienced. If you want, for example, in Kenya to apply for an ID today, you can use your mobile phone, you apply, you pay, then you just go to the immigration office to have your fingerprints taken and you'll have your passport. So that is a very big development. And we have over 200 services that people get, from registration of births, from land registration, checking out your land ownership records, applying for a passport, a national ID card, many, many, many other services. So that's digital government, first pillar. Second pillar is digital business. As government put their its services online, even private sector also has to continue transacting using these digital platforms. So digital business is important in that both government and private sector move in the same direction, digitizing their services. The third pillar is infrastructure, which is important. From transaction portals to platforms to broadband connectivity to roads, because when you're transacting in a digital economy, sometimes physical goods have to be delivered to a place. So you need a road, you need a railway line, you need maybe a pipeline, you need an airport to deliver the physical goods to where they've been ordered on a digital platform. So we consider infrastructure not just as broadband connectivity, but actually as a physical, both physical and digital infrastructure. One very important aspect of that we think of the digital infrastructure is addressing, having addresses, specific places that goods can be delivered to. Because if you can't know where you are delivering goods, then you will not be able to complete the transaction. Energy is very important because these platforms, the broadband connectivity, need to be powered. So we need to have very reliable energy so that you have this platform available almost 99.99%, so that it's like surely going to a shop and buying something and you know you will get it. Because if you don't have reliable power, then it means the platforms do not function throughout. So that's infrastructure. The fourth one is what we are calling innovation-driven entrepreneurship. Where we are going, we need entrepreneurs, and they need to be innovative. So that pillar looks at the innovations that will be put in place to drive the uptake of digital services. The fourth pillar. The fifth pillar is what we are calling digital skills and values. We are told that in a few years' time, most of the skills that we have today will probably disappear. So we need people to learn these new skills. We are talking about data, big data analytics. So you need data analysts, you need data scientists, you need people who are experts in artificial intelligence, in all these new technologies that are coming. So developing the relevant skills through review of curriculum. The president said yesterday, one of the things we are doing is reviewing our curriculum, right from primary school all the way to tertiary institutions. So we want to develop skills. The value, we said digital skills and values. The values aspect is that we want people to be comfortable on the digital platform, so that if I order a red shirt extra large, I don't get a green shirt small. So the value of trading on the digital economy is so important that we need to embed it in the skills when we are developing the skills, so that it is it's ingrained in the workforce of the future.
Yeah, actually, when it comes to education, there's a very big gap, because most of the curriculum here on the African continent are from years ago, and yet we live in a world that is evolving every day in digital. Now, as we move, Kenya is among the African countries that are leading in the IT sphere. Now, what impact has it had on its economy?
Yeah, it has had a big impact. We are told from statistics, I think from the third quarter of this financial year, that mobile commerce contributed, the amount of money that was transacted on mobile commerce was about $18 billion. So you can see the impact of this digital technology and economy is that it's growing quite fast, and this is consistent with what we are being told is happening in other countries, that mobile commerce and commerce powered by technologies, ICTs, is actually growing very, very fast. And for us, the impact this has that it brought efficiency. It has efficiency in delivery of government services and also other services. We are able to use these technologies to achieve some of our goals. We have the Sustainable Development Goals that were agreed at the international level. In Kenya, we picked 4 of these goals. We call them the big 4. Universal healthcare, food security, manufacturing, and affordable housing. So we believe that we can use these technologies to achieve these goals in a much faster way. For example, in healthcare, we could use technology to get diagnosis done by a doctor who is very far away. We can have more efficient management of health records in our health institutions, and so many other things. So we see these technologies as enabling us to meet our own national goals, Vision 2030, the Sustainable Development Goals, and as well as some of the priority goals that we've put up as a country.
Yes, and we also see that the rate of digital divide is also increasing. Now, how can we have inclusion? You know, what should be done in order to reduce the gap that is currently increasing?
I think at a continental level, we need to harmonize our policies and strategies. And by the suggestions we are making in the blueprint, if we agree that maybe these are the pillars that we as a continent identify to drive our economies, then that means that the efforts can actually be uniform. So if we agree that infrastructure, for example, broadband connectivity is important, and we know today we are at, maybe for Kenya's sake, we are at about 45%. We need to agree maybe in the next 5 years, if we agree each country should increase the broadband penetration, say by 20%, then it means we are actually addressing the same problems across the continent instead of having different countries focusing on different aspects. But on the digital divide, I think one of the things that we talk about in the blueprint and the infrastructure is affordability of devices to connect to the digital economy. So the devices and also the affordability of the connection itself. If I'm talking about the cost of connection, the cost of data, the cost of using these facilities. So we need to look at what it costs for people to go and use these services, for example, to access government services. How much will it cost you in terms of data to access the government services? So if we can address the issue of cost and availability, because you can have broadband, but if people don't connect, then you cannot use it. So we have to look at that. Also, it's important that people know that actually these services are available. You can have broadband, you can have devices, but people don't know that the content is available, or the content they require is available. Then, so I'm talking about capacity building in the usage of these devices to go online and use the services.